Zan, I understand you work for Apologia. I thought Apologia was strictly a science company, so exactly what do you do with Apologia?
My job has been to develop Apologia Press, which are books that are designed to help and encourage moms, and also we're producing curriculum other than science, like our worldview curriculum, and we'll be working on some Bible curriculum and other things in the future. So let me just take a few minutes to tell you about some of our product. We have two of the books I'm very excited about are by Debrah. The first is The Ultimate Guide to Homeschooling. So The Ultimate Guide to Homeschooling is designed to answer every question you've ever had about homeschooling, and it will be followed by The Ultimate Guide to Homeschooling Teens. So that we're very, very excited about giving these perennial resources to homeschooling mom. Another thing we're quite excited about is our new What We Believe series, a worldview series for elementary children or children ages 6 to 14. The first one is now out, Who is God by John Hay and David Webb, which really answers the questions of what have Christians historically believed. So it's more than a Bible study. It's what we believe with the Bible verses in context, and it's really quite a nice doctrinal and practical application study to use with your children ages 6 to 14. Then we have two books currently out by the Clarkson family. Sally and Clay Clarkson have the ministry, The Wholehearted Child, Educating the Wholehearted Child, and we are currently working on that book, Educating the Wholehearted Child by Clay and Sally, which will be out a little later this year. Read for the Heart by Sarah Clarkson is a wonderful book, really an anthology on what our children should read when. This is for really babies, infants through 8th grade, and it is by subject as well as just by the genre of the literature that the books cover. So we are very excited about this. If you want to know how to build a home library, how to foster a love for reading in your children, this is an excellent resource. And then Sally's, we've reprinted and republished, updated Sally's classic devotional book, Seasons of a Mother's Heart. If you need encouragement in your homeschooling journey, this is the book. And then Rachel Carman. Rachel has one book out and one on the way. Her current book, Soundbites from Heaven, is a great inspirational book for moms, and it tells us about how the way we speak to our children, we learn great things from God in the process. And she will take sound bites like, I love you, turn down the music, listen to me when I'm talking to you, and then give us these poignant reminders of how God speaks to us and works in our lives. It's an excellent book. This is a great book to do in a weekly Bible study with women, I think. And then my book, 7 Tools for Cultivating Your Child's Potential, which I wrote because I had so many women coming to me worried about the academic portion of homeschooling. There's so many things that you naturally do as moms, and powerful things that can occur in your home on a daily basis to shape the lives of your children, that I wrote this. Academics is actually the 6th tool. So I talk about several other things before we even get to approaching academics in your family life, and that is establishing a family identity and the child's personal identity. Who is that child in Christ and in the context of your family? Developing intimacy in the home and how that's a catalyst for education. Helping your child discover his purpose, developing worldview, discipleship in terms of character building. Then we deal with the academics and then end with communication and leadership skills. So this is just sort of my apologetic for motherhood and homeschooling, and I wrote it my daughter's senior year in high school, which was our 21st year and final year of homeschooling.
I have a question for you. I have 2 little boys in my house, 11 and 8. So how do you get them to understand each other's personality traits or learning styles so that they can begin to understand each other a little better? I understand that as a mom, but how can I transfer that so that they understand each other a little better?
Okay. Amy, that is a great question. I think one of the beauties of homeschooling is not only teaching academics, but teaching our children to love one another. And so as we have in mind that our goal is more than just getting through the school day, then we can make a point of talking about these things with our kids. It's not enough that we have information on learning style and personality and spiritual gifts. We need to be talking with our children throughout the day. Honey, I really believe your spiritual gift is this, which means you need to be doing in personal devotions studies of the spiritual gifts. You need to know Bible verses that you refer to as a family that's part of your ongoing discussion. And then you help the children understand how this gift of evangelism is different than your gift of service, which is different than your gift of exhortation or leadership, and how they all benefit the body or benefit the family in this case. Same thing with learning styles. I had two boys like you. One was auditory kinesthetic. One was visual. Give me my books, Mom. Leave me alone. I'll go upstairs and teach myself and do much better than you could. Thank you very much. And Ty had to discuss everything. We read every book together. If we didn't discuss it, it didn't stay with him. And it's interesting, as we talked about those things together, the understanding it fostered within the family. Now, does that mean there was no conflict in the home? Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, a funny thing happened when Ty went to college, because Ty was always the one who, in the middle of class time, would think of a great fun thing we could do to take a break. Or, you know, we could do this, and that reminds me of this field trip let's go now. You know, he was always the social director, activities director in the family. And so when he went to college and my other children were still home, and they were 2 and 9 years younger, Ty was, I guess, 18, and so they would have been 16 and 9 when Ty went to school. We were sitting around the dining room table. About the 3rd week Ty left, Lizzie looks at me and says, "This is so boring. Ever since Ty left, all we do all day long is what we're supposed to do. I have figured out by the time I finish, in 2 years, I will have finished high school at this rate." And so, you know, but they missed him, and they missed that vitality they brought. So unfortunately, there's no easy answer for your question, but I think as we really teach our children to love each other and they rub against each other, and we're enforcing the commands of Jesus to love God first and then our neighbor as ourselves, the first place we exercise and extend that grace is the home. But it is predicated on the fact that we are talking about those verses and those things with our children when we rise up, when we lie down, when we're going to the mall, when we're in soccer practice, all of those times.